And let me say good morning from the heart to Cyril Abaku. Cyril, good morning to you.
A very warm and pleasant morning to you.
All right, the papers are in and the stories to share are also in. So let's go right away to them. The Nation is the first paper on call. Leads with treason trial. Why Supreme Court reversed Kanu's acquittal?
Well, yesterday the apex court of the land spoke. Like Justice Oputa said one time, it's final. They are final not because they're infallible.
We are not final. We are final not because we are
infallible, but we are infallible because we're final. So yes, they've spoken. You can't. It couldn't be said any further from that. But as to whether we will all agree, that's what sometimes what the court says is called an opinion. So whether the opinion of the court sits with the
everyday Nigerian,
yes, or with tenets of law as known to lawyers and those who know the law, now becomes a debatable issue. But whatever we'll do from now on is merely after the event. Nnamdi Kanu has had more than his day in the sun, if you ask me, because so if the federal government now chooses to obey this order, does it not go against the grain that our governments are of the sort that selectively obey what suits them? But there, the court has spoken. There's nothing we can do about it.
Yeah. But let's add quickly that the Supreme Court had said rendering Kanu from Kenya the way it did was wrong and reckless.
Of course, it was wrong and reckless, and government owed both the court and Nigerians an explanation as to how they got him back to the country. You've not done that, and then the court says, therefore, let him go. You refuse to let him go. I think we need to have a provision in time or with time that retrospectively applies punishment and punitive actions on governments and people who willfully, like the Nnamdi Kanu case now. Buhari's government that refused to obey the order of the appeal court should be brought to, whoever was responsible for that should now be brought to face the same trial Nnamdi Kanu is facing. The person should be charged with the same offense that the man has been charged. Because if we don't punish bad behavior, as the years roll by,
it will endure.
There will be no basis for right and wrong in the country. And for me, that's very dangerous. This man's trial is a very sensitive issue. The government has made it more than clear that it was not heading for a political solution. Don't let us go round and round.
Chief Mbazuli can make this one, not this particular government.
This one includes. I'll give you examples, and that's why I said I don't want to go round and around the issues anymore, because they are only well to known.
Then don't
Chief
go around.
Chief Mbazuli Kamechi led the delegation of whoever could be who is who in Igbo land to meet President Buhari. In fact, when that meeting took place, I thought, given the president's disposition to the people who are a dot on the map, for him to even granted them that sort of audience, I thought that beneath the table, they had already reached an agreement that, look, just let us come and do this and do this, and then you release him to us. He didn't do it. As soon as Governor Peter Mbah of Enugu, I always mention that man's name, was sworn into office, the first thing he did was to run to Abuja and say, Mr. President, give me Nnamdi Kanu in good faith. This matter will come to an end. Do you know that this Governor Peter Mbah arguably is the architect of the end of it at home in the southeast now?
Oh, yeah.
And if not at least in Enugu.
Yeah.
He was charismatic. He has gone to meet the president several times. Mr. President, release man to me. Clearly, government is not looking for a political solution. Now, if President Tinubu now, who didn't listen to Governor Peter Mbah, at least they won a victory at the Supreme Court. But the question is, doesn't government have a conscience or a moral sense of duty to say that if in the past judgment was awarded, and that is not to say that the opinion of the Supreme Court is even the best per se, because I know lawyers are going to have debate for and against. But the point to make is, if at all the federal government has now won a victory at the Supreme Court, who answers for its negligence, disobedience, dereliction, vacation of judgment that was not obeyed in the past?
All right.
Something has to give.
Cyril, this reminds me of the statement credited to a very wise man. I have forgotten who. He said, care must be taken so that punishment does not exceed crime. If you understand.
Exactly. Yeah. Except that, in this instant case, the person defining punishment is the person who is also going to award it. So it's double jeopardy.
All right, so to the next story, which still takes us to the southeast. Tinubu, governors, Ohaneze, others mourn Ezefe.
Yeah, Chief Ezefe, former SDP governor of Anambra State, in the days of your
old Anambra.
Their generation, was it old Anambra? 1993. I think, no, is Anambra Cities today.
Okay.
Yeah, their generation was the last vestige of when you had people who understood the meaning of the mind. You know, the meaning of the mind, if you know what I mean. They were the direct successor generation to the pioneers.
Yeah.
And I think after that era, even the era was a mixed era. But this man, I mean, as governor, he was well known. His trademark, what do you call it? Is it the goatee or the bird? The white bird.
The goatee, yeah.
Yeah, but of course he'll be missed because he was a voice for reason in the southeast as far as the Igbo are concerned. But I mean, we joined the long list of monarchs now to say around the world and to say we pray for the repose of his soul and for his family to have the fortitude to bear the loss.
My statement is simple. Okwadike one of Igbo land came, saw, and conquered.
Yeah, and conquered. Yeah. Sure, he did.
Okay, to our next story. What happened after a birthday event by Akpabio?
Not well.
You had the back and forth.
Yes, the Senate president actually told guests that he had become tired. He did say it. Well, I wasn't there. For his spokesman to admit that much in the statement, because the story we first had was that
tired of what?
Well, maybe fatigue with all of the events. Events. You know, there had been a gig in Akwa Ibom, and then the colloquium followed in Abuja and so on. So he said he had become tired. So that's according to the spokesperson. But the report we first saw or read, which the spokesman was countering, was to the effect that he had slumped yeah. and had to be taken from the venue to a hospital. But they've long since denied all of that. And I think the following day, he was seen performing his duties again. I think it was on his feet. I saw that video on Twitter, except the person was lying. So I think he's ill and hearty.
Pictures don't lie.
Sure. Video, yeah, sure. So I think he's strong, he's good. Maybe he needs to take some more rest.
All right.
Yeah.
To your state now, Cyril. Rivers crisis. More commissioners quit Fubara's government?
Yes, but the question is, are they only making him stronger? Or, you know, there was in America something, I think it was President John Tyler, the 10th president. He stepped in as a vice president, you know, after his boss had passed on. And then 10 secretaries resigned in one day. He told them, Fubara has only seen about
10 secretaries, that's 10 ministers.
Yes, resigned over. You know, I mean, in one they just packed their bags and said they were leaving. Because they couldn't look to him as leader. You know what I mean? Usually the vice president, someone who is brought in as a placeholder, sort of just to fill the gap. But in Fubara's own case, the politics of Rivers State has become extremely toxic. The men are more loyal to the paymaster, shall I call him that, the godfather, who is in Abuja. So it was Professor Zacchaeus Adango that first left the government. After Zacchaeus left, as
the Attorney General.
Yes, Kelly George followed. Yeah. Then the commissioner, the lady followed, and then, you know, many of them are leaving the exodus. But I think that core politicians have a way of asking the question of where will the tide swing in favor. So if the pendulum is going to swing in favor of the other party, they are likely to pitch attention to the future. But if they want to work out on Mr. Governor, they should do it early in the day so that he knows who he is dealing with, who is who around him. But as it is right now, they are fighting a zero-sum game in Rivers State, and it's very dangerous.
Okay. All right. To another story. Nigeria's inflation rate hits 28.2% in November.
Let me say this inflation rate problem. Nigerians, I think, don't believe these figures, ostensibly feeling that they are being doctored, or that they really don't care. Like, they don't follow it anymore. They just live their lives and adjust to the increase in prices. They don't care about the figures, really. Nigerians have resorted to learning how to just manage to get by in spite of the difficulties, in the face of distress. They don't follow these things. Nigerians are just interested in, if the price will increase, we'll make we know, so that we go fit plan. No, but that's what now every day now.
Okay, another one. War against terrorism, a must win. This is according to the Defense Headquarters. Are you enamored of this?
No, I couldn't be.
Okay.
I couldn't be. And sometimes when you hear these things, you just know that what comes out of the mouth won't be the best of words. But you want to ask yourself, on what basis, on what authority are they saying this? On what a DHQ that is overseeing the bombing of Nigerians. You look at what happened in Tundumbiri in Kaduna. The villagers went to meet the governor and distanced themselves from a lawsuit that has been filed to make sure they are awarded damages, to say that they're not part of any, maybe a section of town, I don't know, but town leaders have went to meet Governor is it Sani or something, to say that. Meanwhile, the bombing that took place in Tunubiri has been called an error bombing. It's a crime against humanity. This is codified in Geneva Convention. It's a crime against humanity. We've not had, this is after 2-3 weeks. We've not how long will it take them to investigate and find out who pressed the error button? And so why should I believe them when they 2 or 3 weeks after we've not known how that error bombing took place? Don't say it's machine failure, please. Tomorrow don't come and tell us is machine failure, because the question will now be who procured those machines for the military. On what authority are they saying these things? And we should believe them.
All right. Let's leave the Nation and move to The Guardian. Cyril, The Guardian leads with, "It's quiet in Southeast as Supreme Court orders Nnamdi Kanu to face terrorism trial."
Of course. I couldn't have expected anything less, because it's clear. I mean, the way our courts make their rulings, somehow we've come to say, now so they do. I mean, what more would you expect? The charges have not changed. It's the same evidence, but now there's a new reason why the trial should continue. Citizen, it's not good to. The court has spoken.
Okay, then more stories in The Guardian to share. 38 terrorist commanders, foot soldiers killed, 155 arrested. In The Guardian still.
That's according to the military, according to the Air Force, or according to the military or the army. If 38 terrorist commanders, foot soldiers killed, that's good. It's a good one.
Okay then, let's leave The Guardian and move to the Daily Sun. Rivers crisis divides PDP, APC, LP lawyers.
Yeah, dividing the lawyers. That's good.
Mentioned it in passing.
Yeah, but it's not. It's not big news for me. You see, in Rivers State today, as in other parts of Nigeria, yeah, not only because of the current crisis, but you don't know who is who. What you have is a set of politicians. The governor has loyalists has sympathizers in the APC. Okay, then Mr. Wike also has sympathizers in the APC, or in fact, disciples in the APC. Then the Labour Party candidate we had was in talks with the governor, who is in PDP. Okay, then the governor, until now, Wike was the one controlling APC and PDP in Rivers State, ostensibly. Okay, now so the lawmakers that left PDP went to APC. The substantive APC ESCO that was sacked by the Abuja NWC are not in cahoot with Mr. Wike. I think they have some sympathy for the governor. When you look at all of them like this as a mass, you don't know who is who.
Yeah.
So
the unfolding scenario in your Rivers State
is extremely fluid.
Yeah.
It's extremely fluid.
Bemusing too.
It's extremely fluid.
Okay, other stories in the Sun. Business resumes as NAFDAC unseals Abia market. Business resumes.
Yeah. The question of market sealing. I mean, this is Abia, NAFDAC, but in Lagos too, especially on the basis of the fact that the markets are not clean and so on. I think these are they are management issues. They are not that really can be managed better. I mean, when you shut the market, you're shutting business, you're shutting people's means of livelihood. I think we can manage these things better. You know, how about preventive management? How about making sure that it didn't come to the point where they needed to close the shops or the market? Can that be handled? What's our policy on waste management and compliance with best practices? Because it will be more than safety standards and so on. So why are we not? Maybe there should be task force comprising the regulator and the market leadership as far as the local as well as the local government, a tripartite task force that goes to ensure that these things are done, because I don't see any reason why we should be shutting markets.
Okay, Cyril, akin to the story we just shared with you now, Lagos government says we may pull down more buildings.
This renewed vigor, I mean, it's good if it's in line with the matter affecting the so-called master plan of the state, as well as...
Is it so-called? There's a master plan.
No, of course, when I say so-called, there's a reason for it, and I can explain. But again, especially houses built on drainages, okay? So maybe what we do is to say, how many houses in Lagos are... I mean, looking at all the local government areas, including the LCDAs, in how many places do we have houses built on drainages, and how many are they? So that, you know, it's a phased process. The way I hear them couch this headline sounds like, we're coming there now, we're going there tomorrow, we're coming. So if it's phased and planned, the owners of the places can have time to relocate. Okay, I think that works. That works better.
Okay, fuel price increase. NLC carpets World Bank.
So,
of course, we are familiar.
There are issues.
You are familiar with the expose by the World Bank.
I more than am, and there are issues with the matter. The federal government has not said the first thing about this issue, but it was here I first came to shout that subsidy had returned. I said it here maybe 2 months ago. I was very vociferous. I said subsidy. Now the World Bank has come to corroborate that story for the simple reason.
Maybe they heard you.
No, they didn't. Anybody who can do the math can tell. I also saw the story from somewhere. Anybody who can do the math can tell that the cost of landing and so on, the dollar, the exchange has gone astronomically high, and yet the price of petrol as sold by the NNPC, retailed by the NNPC, is still the same. Somebody is paying for the difference. So that's basic economics. Okay. But the World Bank now coming to say that fuel should even be selling for higher than what it is selling for now. Well, they are the World Bank. They are not our. They are not our government.
They're not the central bank of.
Yes, they're not Nigeria. they are not our. They are not our advisors. But the reality is, if we are to actually admit that subsidy is back, what we're basically saying is that corruption is, because government hasn't said whether they are paying or not. They've not told us how much they are paying. They've not told us to whom they are paying it. They've not told us how. All right. So the matter, I think government should simply speak on the matter and say, it is true we are paying, even if we didn't tell Nigerians. So why didn't you tell Nigerians the money you saved from the previous subsidy regime? What did you even do with it? We only knew that we were saving 400 billion. Later they said they had saved up to about 801 trillion. But what are you doing with the money? So it's important we know these things. Subsidy, of course, they've been paying this thing for months now. But the question is, you are paying subsidy at a rate at a time when the cost of fuel has now skyrocketed. Citizen Jones, they are paying subsidy. We're buying fuel for 100 naira, 160 something, 200 and something, 220, and we are shouting. Now subsidy was taken up. Fuel went up to as much as 600 naira per liter. Subsidy has now come back. Fuel is still at that same price.
So something is not right.
Something is not right. Something is wrong. I don't know how to say. You used to say include me out, right? It is an include me out kind of economic scenario. It's neither here nor there. But clearly there's corruption going on.
All right. Cyril, the next story is a happy one. And may I just announce it's 7:30 in the city of Lagos. And on the VOP, Voice of the People Radio, here in Lagos, it's the newspaper headliners. This is a happy one. FAAC has said this: federal government, states and local governments to share 1.088 trillion naira in November.
To share or have shared. November has passed.
I'm sharing the headline.
It's fine. They allocate money.
Share
money
1.088.
Can money ever come late? So even if the alert was going to come this December, but so it's good news for the governors, but not necessarily good news for the masses, because there's this fact thing that we share every month is even antithetical to when we say we're a federal republic. We've said it again and again. I pray for the day we will come to the point where we say states to remit. Citizen, you laugh like this thing. This boy, what is it? It will never happen. Yeah, but we want to see when it comes to saying states to remit
X amount
to the federal government.
Okay, but it used to happen.
So why can't it happen now? Especially when we have a president who was at the forefront of the vanguard for restructuring, for fiscal federalism, for all of these ideals that we always spoke about.
Okay, let's go back to your Enugu state, still in the Daily Sun. Will no longer allow noise pollution in Enugu. Anya Chairman ECTDA is saying.
The thing is that if there's any governor in the southeast right now, apart from Alex Oti, who has set himself up for great success, I want to believe it's the governor of Enugu State. If let's say 3 years, we go there and find that the more things appear to change, the more they remain the same, I will be the first person to come here to him, because if you need to go and check his cabinet. Professor this, professor that, doctor that. I think he basically came to government prepared. Now, the noise pollution, if something as simple as noise pollution conversion is making it to the national headlines, it's fine, it's deliberate, but it must be matched with action. The other day, I think he's in Indonesia to get investors. None of that is bad, but like I say, it shouldn't just be talk. The talk is good. The decibel level of the talk is beautiful, but it must be marked with
work.
You see, the one in Anambra State, I'm not sure I know where he is right now. Governor Soludo. I spoke like this about him before the election. Anyway, good things. I like to talk about good things. I said on national.
Anyway, you see bad go.
I will call it out too now. Okay. So I said these people dragging governorship with Soludo. His record is longer than we say track record, and I said his record is longer than the track on which they are running. I said that thing. World class economics and everything. I'm not sure that man has lived up to that expectation I had of him in Anambra State. Okay, especially not least when he left governance and came to be saying P2P can never be president of Nigeria. I may not have been an obedient, but why descend so low into the political arena to be saying those kind of things?
Cyril,
but it's fine. Back to Enugu.
You are not a politician.
I'm not.
So you are not given to theatrics and histrionics.
But I wouldn't have expected Professor Soludo to be fighting a trader.
Cyril, then go to court. Go to court.
Yeah, but it's fine. Noise pollution is not a good thing. It doesn't speak to a proper civilization. What they can do, not just to, but go ahead and enforce it and make sure that churches and all these places and clubs and stuff like that are padded.
Cyril, the next story should raise some strands of hair on your head. Scores to lose jobs as ShopRite closes
in Kanu.
Yeah.
Yes, and I think I saw the tweet by Senator Sani saying they should beg them to stay. I don't know if this government is an anti-business government. So people are packing bag and running away, and you expect others to come and invest in this same economy when the indices are very clear that everything is wrong. If we're not in a good place, it is in Jones. I have to say it. We're not in a good place at all. At all. P&G leaving. Jumia Foods to leave. Glasgow Smith Klein to leave. I can't remember the name of that biscuit company in Agbara. Packing their bags and walking away. This thing didn't begin with President Tinubu. Now, this man has been kind enough to tell us, Olusegun Aganga, former Minister of Trade and Investment, he said Nigeria had been de-industrializing since 2015, since Buhari came. I remember in Lagos, some factories began to say they are mothballing. And to be fair, I didn't know the meaning of the word, so I had to check it up. They were packing their engines and their tools and saying, let's rest them until the weather is fair again for business. And the weather has not been fair for business ever since. I wonder why all the policies they introducing are making foreign investors pack them. Even local investors are packing and saying we can't continue. We can't continue. We're packing a bag and walking away.
All right.
I don't understand.
Seriously, the next paper from the Guardian is the Daily Trust. It leads with this: Nigeria Daily: sports betting an epidemic amongst Nigerian youths.
So the question is: do the youth believe and accept that betting is not right? Do they accept it? Have they come to realize that betting is wrong? I'm glad that the paper called it an epidemic, because sometimes you don't judge a thing by the pleasure you get. You judge it by the long-term consequences it puts on the individual. They accuse religious people of telling people that they'll prosper. This betting you're seeing like this, somebody wants to put in 20,000 naira today and hope that he's going to get 100 million suddenly. This gambling thing.
Make I ask you, they know they get
the one that committed suicide. Borrowed 2.5 million naira to bet, and then the thing I think went all went south. This game and chance, and it becomes heavily addictive.
Oh, yeah.
They are not able to do anything meaningful again. They just want to. It's not proper. It's not proper. It's a serious menace. Okay. Children now live outside of their homes. They want to get money by all means. When I was younger, many years ago, we did a job. Then we were paid. So because I didn't have a copy of some of the novels, Second Class Citizen by Buche Mecheta, I went to the shop to go and buy the book. So the woman said, this was the amount of students. I said, madam, how many young people do you see come to buy a book like this in your shop? You better send me the book now, let me be going.
She fell for it?
I think she did.
All right. Siri, quickly. Tudumbiri airstrike. Families recount experiences, call for government assistance.
I don't want to believe. You see, this thing, the people of Tudumbiri have to speak with one voice. Because as it is, somebody has arguably gone to bribe them to speak in disunity, and it will help them. This matter will die a natural death. That leaders of the community will come meet the governor and tell him that they are not part of a lawsuit asking for justice. How else do you want to get justice then? When you see, this is why the paper has now gone to meet individuals, because clearly the town leader, I don't know what they call them, the king or whatever, were there, are saying that they are not interested in a lawsuit asking for justice when government has not even begun investigation into the matter.
Okay.
Come on.
Cyril, no vex more than that. I have this next story. I was exhausted, diagnosed with malaria. Akpabio speaks on slump rumor.
Oh, great. So the diagnosis should have come after medical attention, either in a hospital or somewhere close to a hospital. But I'll leave that for Nigerians to guess.
Okay.
But as it is, it's clear that whether he slumped or not, it's not even the issue. He wasn't in the best of frames at the end of the colloquium. So it's fine.
Yeah, because I don't think any media house would stir the hornet's nest for the sake of it.
For the sake of it, yes.
Yeah.
And then again, Mr. I mean, if you only know the work rate of these men, except that it doesn't bring anything to bear in our lives, but their work rate is extremely excruciating.
Okay, the Vanguard next. Very close, 20 minutes to 8. The Vanguard leads with Wike Fubara fight, a threat to democracy, lawyers.
It is. In fact, the question I've been asking all these days has been, is this to democracy? Is this also democracy? Is this also democracy? But again, we had...
Do you call it democracy?
I didn't say
no.
democracy.
No, okay.
So listen, what do you call it?
Democracy.
Democracy, great.
Yeah.
Now, we saw an even more absurd theater in Anambra. You remember some years ago? The Ngige Uba saga. Yes. See, the thing is...
And the gay.
Yeah. Now...
The policeman.
Yeah. The orchestration of the civilian coup. You see, the fact is that we don't... Our political class, if a class indeed want to call them, didn't learn any lesson from that episode. Ala Adelabu, Adedibu, and
Oyo State.
In Oyo State. The political elites have not learned any serious lesson from what happened in those scenarios. And as a society, we didn't seem to...
Do politicians learn?
I think they remember everything and forget everything. Or they learn everything and then unlearn everything again. I think that the main challenge is that we... what's the word now? There's nothing to show that we've been here before and so we can't go back there.
Yeah.
Nothing to show like that. We repeat history. We make things worse. Believe me, for the next... You see, and what people are not even thinking, I have no side in the matter in Rivers State. Let me explain something. These citizens just... Amechi became governor. We saw these tendencies. Wike became governor. We saw these tendencies. Even for what they are fighting for today.
But don't leave out...
As it is now.
Don't leave out the first governor in this series. Peter Odili.
No, of course. Yeah, but Peter didn't have to fight off.
But in Peter's time, warlords sprang up.
Warlords sprang up, of course. Peter today has become some kind of, some sort of father figure to successive governors in the state. But the real issue is that as it is right now, Fubara is in the fight to finish. And what would that confine him? Absolute power over the state. Should he win the war?
Cyril, the next story is a howler. World Bank, now our enemy, a threat to our economy. The NLC is saying...
They are not your enemy. Your government should do what is right.
Okay.
Your government should wake up to its responsibility. Your government should wake up. No, I didn't want to say government is the enemy. That's why I didn't say it.
Yeah.
I shouldn't say government is the enemy. But if the World Bank is not your enemy, please leave the World Bank out of it. They will have the opinion. There are those who say subsidy should be taken out. There are those who say subsidy should not be taken away. Both ways, they have the opinions. Government has to take a decision.
Okay.
So the issue is not about the World Bank.
Quickly, let's return to your state, Rivers. Call Wike to order. National Assembly members tell Tinubu.
There you have it then. Because, of course, there had been some sort of detente before this second round of the bout. This second bout started. Wike began to say he wouldn't tolerate any ingratitude. The next thing, people sat and said that they were transferring to the APC. So when you fire a salvo, I think the president should intervene. Mr. President is an APC president, but I think he has a lot of friends and capital with the PDP, especially because Wike is his inside man. So he needs to, perhaps he's conflicted, perhaps he's waiting for the right time to intervene.
All right.
But something has to be done.
Cyril, take you quickly to Edo. Edo Guba, I'll support whoever PDP picks, Governor Obaseki.
That's great. That's great. And the picture is a place where he's shaking and he's in a handshake with Mr. Peter Shaibu, his deputy. But it's clear the governor has sympathies for for a candidate. So Shaibu couldn't be the person.
Sometimes you wonder what's the place of the people in all of this scenario, all this messy.
They don't have a place.
Okay.
Because what to practice is a government of the few, not government of the many.
Okay. From Edo to Ondo crisis. Past events caused us delay. Deputy Governor, now acting Governor Ayedatiwa.
Past event caused us delay.
Yeah.
That's a deep statement to make. That's a very, very deep statement to make. It's the headline quite all right, but that's a very deep thing to say. Maybe we will understand it better as the days go by.
Okay.
But that's a very deep thing to say.
Okay. So those are the stories we are able to share this morning. Time to hand over the microphone to you, the listener. Be the resource person now. 0700 903 903 903. Are you reacting to any of the story or stories we shared? Take advantage. Let's go to town. And please, when you do get through, keep your radio out of it. Hello, good morning to you.
Citizen Jones, good morning. This will be calling from Ikeja. Really agree to.
Morning, brother.
Yeah, about Nnamdi Kala, I thought the government would have given us Christmas gifts for most of us who love.
No, big government, Supreme Court.
Supreme Court, no, but a part of government, though.
It's a separate institution.
I agree with you,
Yes,
but they also government. They would have been giving us a Christmas gift because most of us would have loved to travel. With the tension in the East, we don't know what exactly is going to happen, Citizen Jones. It's really unfair. Thank you very much. Yeah.
All right. Many thanks. 0700 903 903 903. Are you moved? Are you taken in by any story or stories we shared with you? Take advantage. Let's get you vent your spleen or air your opinion. Cyril, it's more about the Supreme Court, and we're talking law here. Sometimes you wonder if lawyers are helping the situation. If you see where I'm coming from.
Of course, I see. And then again, the problem.
Sorry, there's another respondent here. Good morning to you.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, good morning. Good morning. My name is Ijeoma. I'm calling from Ejibo.
Okay, then.
Yeah, I want to react first to the Supreme Court withholding the release of Ananaba Kanu. I think I am the prince. I came from Imo State. I know too well that the release of Ananaba Kanu would have totally bring down the threats and the security threat in Imo State, even though he was not the one that created it. See whatever that is happening. And those people who are enjoying that, who the situation is suffering because they have a itineraries of security and whatever, do not want it out. You know, another thing is that please don't misunderstand me. The issue happens that they know too well that if once Nnamdi Kanu comes out, no leader in the southeast, except few, will mean anything to the people.
All right.
Because
60 seconds are up, sir. Thank you. We got you first time. We got you first time. 0700 903 903 903. Speak for 60 seconds if you please. Good morning to you.
Very good morning to you, Secretary Joe, and my dear Cyril.
Good morning to you, sir.
My name is Prince Y. I'm calling you from Amuad office. I just want to talk about two topics. Number one, the River State matter, I think the governors who have put the leadership for that state, like Odili and the other leaders, to settle this matter behind the camera and let the River State move forward. Because as it is now, if they continue this way, we should remain Abuja for my own liking, should remain there, not dabble to what is going on in River. And the governor himself, so what to know that somebody assists you coming to power, this is not to pay back somebody who has done good for you. So that's why I say.
All right. That's 60 seconds. Thank you. No, finally. Speak for 60 seconds. You can do it. 0700 903 903 903. Another call. Good morning to you.
Hello?
Yeah, morning.
Good morning. Good morning. How about you?
Go on, sir. Are you there? Hello? Not quite ready. 0700 903 903 903. How do you react to the stories we shared with you from the papers this morning? Comment is free. Opinion is no. Facts are secret. Comment is free. I have this call. Hello. Good morning to you.
Yeah. Good morning. My name is John from Ikorodu.
Go on, sir.
Okay. The happenings in River State presently, I think Wike is trying to occupy executive position in two areas. One is the FCT minister. Two, he wants to govern River State as third term. This is quite under development, dirty politics. I think Wike should be called to order. The president should sack him and should be prosecuted for not honoring the constitution that is what to uphold. He is defecating on our constitution. And Nigerians are just looking at him. This man have no right to create problem for this country because of his selfishness. He should be told quite clearly that he should respect himself. Thank you.
Many thanks. You spoke for 45 seconds. That's what we mean. Take advantage of the 60 seconds you have. 0700 903 903 903. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Yeah, please keep your radio out of this, please.
Okay, my name is Ken.
Ken, go on.
Yes. People that are saying that government should have given Nnamdi Kanu freedom. If that man is released, there will be another scale of violence in the East.
Okay.
Yes, because people will now say, now that he's out, this is time for us to get our Biafra, and we will have no peace. We are part of all these shenanigans, that all the problems they are causing there. So it's better for him to go through trial. If he is found guilty, he should face the music.
Are you there?
Thank you.
Yeah, many thanks.
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Room for one or two more calls, and we pack it all in. 0700 903 903 903. Did you see that coming? Maybe not. Hello, good morning to you.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, sir.
My name is Adolphus from Ejibo.
All right, Adolphus, your 60 seconds begin now.
On the case of Nnamdi Kanu, a lot of people who are making comments on his release, you don't realize, right?
Please keep your radio out of it, and it's not. There'll be holdbacks.
Okay.
We don't need it, please.
Okay. Since independence, those who were charged for felony never survived. From Adakaboro, we were to MKO, and they never survived. Even Awolowo was in prison in Calabar, waiting to be sanctioned before the Civil War. So somebody was charged for felony. You have to face it so that history will judge us. Because tomorrow another person will come and do the same thing, and we will be calling.
Okay.
That's my own.
Thank
you.
your 60 seconds. Yeah. 0700 903 903 903. One last call. Hello, good morning to you.
How is it today?
Now you see the effect of allowing your radio interfere with what you are doing.
I put off my radio. Thank you, sir.
It's better now. Your name, where you're calling from?
My name is Mr. Latif. I'm calling from Ifo in Ogun State.
All right then, 60 seconds. Let's go.
Thank you. The area I want to go this morning is the area of where how companies are leaving the country due to the hard economic situation. There is no how those companies will not leave, because the cost of doing business in Nigeria is so high that the companies cannot survive with it. For example, I've been a clearing agent for close to 30 years now. This is my 29th year of being a clearing agent in the port, precisely the seaport. Every government that comes since then, the exchange rate for calculating duty for imported goods, they made it a different exchange rate from the bank CBN rate. But since this government comes, it decides to put it at the CBN rate, which is far beyond how it's being done in the previous year.
Sir, we got you first time. Your 60 seconds are out. Many thanks. Cyril, quickly.
I think that we need to be more deliberate about the sort of government and country we want to run. In Rivers State, governor, you can't be governor of Abuja and governor of Rivers State at the same time. So hands off Rivers. Let Governor Fubara run the show. He's the governor of the state, elected by the people, as announced by INEC. And then for the Kanu case, I think it's clearly now more political than any other thing. Whichever way it has swung, we hope that in the end justice is served.
All right, that will just about do it. At 8 o'clock, top of the hour, we are going to go to Rivers and dissect the unfolding scenario there in a greater detail. Thank you, Cyril.
It's a pleasure, Citizen Jones.
Perhaps you wait behind for that.
All right.
Okay then, I'm out of here. The papers will return on Saturday next week. Good morning one more time. Offering, which is Citizen Jones this morning, a program that simply looks at the issues thrown up by the Nigerian Federation. We have a go at these issues, just so you know. This morning, Rivers' befuddling politics, State Assembly complex demolished, many commissioners resigning. Again, Rivers' befuddling politics. State Assembly complex demolished, commissioners resigning. You know, I'm ever so intrigued by the American comedian and actor Groucho Marx's simplistic description of politics. He says, quote, "Politics is the art of looking for trouble, finding it everywhere, diagnosing it incorrectly, and applying the wrong remedies." End of quote. One gets this sneaky impression that Groucho Marx was thinking our country, Nigeria, when he penned that line. Nigeria's River State, dubbed affectionately as the treasure base of the nation, caught the eye of the watching world when in October the State Assembly complex got rocked by an explosion and then a fire. Of course, there were rife rumors that the fire came to stave off and impeachment of the governor. The latest is a controlled demolition of the said complex, and of course, so many commissioners resigning. And it begs the question, are we in for a long night in River State? Let's go there. Shall we meet and greet my discussants this morning, namely Tochukwu Izukama. I greet you, Tochukwu.
Good morning, Citizen Jones.
Tochukwu is by training a town planner and by interest a national affairs commentator. And we also have Cyril Abaku, who I asked to please stay back. Cyril is a broadcaster and a communications expert.
I'm glad to be here, Citizen Jones.
All right then. Rivers' befuddling politics, a state assembly complex demolished, so many commissioners resigning. Tochukwu, how do you set the ball rolling?
Well, there is nothing wrong with being passionate. When you are passionate about something, you can really fight for it. So there's nothing really wrong with politicians fighting for what they believe in. In some countries of the world,
when you react to it, you become impassionate.
When
you become a middleman.
You become dispassionate. Yes. In some countries of the world, politicians fight even some respectable countries of the world, politicians fight in parliament. I know in South Korea. And in countries like Israel, in countries like Britain, there's catcall. When you're talking, people will be making side comments. In the US, they don't do that. Israel, they do that. But in some countries, it degenerates to physical fight, which I don't think is wrong. It's just that it's over dramatizing your passion. That thing you believe in so strongly, you want to establish it, and then it can lead to a fight. But the problem in Nigeria is that none of this fight is for the public good. None of this fight is for the common man. It's just to strengthen or reinforce the interests, personal gains of the political class. That's what bothers me. So what is going on in Rivers State could have been wonderful if the politicians are motivated by some strong ideologies, some political philosophies, something they believe will benefit the country. But that's not the case. It's about one man in Abuja who thinks, I am indispensable, I should be indispensable. And therefore, I'm borrowing the statements. Therefore, I tolerate no opposition. I spare no effort in liquidating any opposition.
But there was a response to that by the governor in question.
Naturally, the governor.
He says, "Na father and pikin dey quarrel."
Na father and pikin dey quarrel.
Yeah.
And who they suffer? Father and pikin can quarrel naturally, but is that the way father and pikin quarrel? Father and pikin quarrel not with guns and machine guns, not at the level they are taking it to. So I think they are he's being euphemistic. He goes beyond father and pikin. Yeah, so, but
sorry.
Yes.
Just Billings is an American comedian. He said, "There's no revenge so complete as forgiveness." Have you heard it before?
No revenge
as so complete
as forgiveness. I don't agree with that at all.
Okay.
No revenge as complete.
If you wrong me and I forgive you, you know go fit still live well.
For those that have conscience, but to some people, not every individual. But where is there forgiveness, revenge and forgiveness in this case? If the governor doesn't take his time, he will be swept out. He will be shoved to the side, bulldozed. So he has to fight back.
Okay.
There's need for political fight this time.
Cyril, politicians are known to whip up histrionics and theatrics. So here we are.
The past 1 week has not been one that one would look back on and have good memories about. It's been a week in which lawmakers converged and in my opinion anyway, inauspiciously declared that they were leaving the PDP to go to the APC. Lawyers have said it was a wrong and miscalculated move, and that they could have already potentially lost their seats in parliament as far as the law goes, because that matter has been settled by the Supreme Court in the past. Now, when they said that they were jumping ship and defecting from the PDP to the APC, the governor quickly, 2 days later, the governor responded by demolishing the remnant, the rump of the House of Assembly complex. It didn't stop there. Moments later, the 5 or so lawmakers left, converged on Government House, where he presented a budget of 800 billion naira, budget proposal, 800 billion naira to them. And I said, this budget won't wait.
But it passed.
I'm coming. And I was saying, in less than a week, a week thereabout. The following evening, in less than 24 hours, that budget was signed into law. 4 or 5 men gathered in a room and poured over all the proposals. 800 billion naira was passed into law. You see, already Mr. Egwuatu was talking about the fact that when politics happens, the people suffer. It doesn't have to be so. It's a choice we're making. It does not have to be that because we have to play politics, the people are going to suffer. Otherwise, then we shouldn't even play politics. It's our own version of politics.
Yes.
So the bill was passed into law. Then the following day, the other lawmakers converged somewhere to pass a resolution and so. But in my thinking, where things are now is that it has left governance paralyzed, the people themselves seriously, heavily polarized. People don't know that Rivers is a miniature River State. So that River State is a microcosm of Nigeria in terms of the linguistic and multi-ethnic diversity, whatever it is, and then the linguistic, where as many as Nigeria is. So what now you see, it has become an age-old thing to rally around Governor Fubara, in a sense, because what Wike is attempting to do by fighting the governor, maybe trying to orchestrate his impeachment, has a greater consequence of depriving a section of the state from producing a governor, which they've not produced since 1999. So if former Governor Wike can overlook such a very serious issue and can put his political machinery into motion to want to impeach a governor overnight without caring about the consequences, then you are going to have this sort of fighting that you have now, if not even on a worse scale.
Yeah.
So it only stands to reason. Yesterday, the Joy Youth Congress and led a protest. You saw people like Abiante. You saw the likes of Boma Goodhead coming out to say enough is enough. Ideally, all of these persons had over the course of 8 years become the weakest structure in River State. But as it is now, it's not even about party anymore. Like I told you, there's no party in River State. Forget about PDP or APC.
So what do you have there?
The PDP is not in university is not divided. The PDP does not even answer to the governor. They answer to Wike. The APC that was as it were an Amechi thing, was Amechi's own because Tonyeko, is Amechi's protege. He is in court challenging the election of Wike. Then overnight of Fubara, overnight we now saw that the NWC removed the ESCO in Rivers and put a caretaker committee that is known to be sympathetic to Mr. Wike. So it's now, as it were, formalized that both the PDP and the APC in Rivers is answerable to one man. Now, so to that extent, look at that jigsaw. So what you now have is a political establishment, not necessarily political parties. Right now, nobody knows where he stands where he stands.
Who is this he? No,
but I mean, if for example you are a politician in university and you are fighting on, you are now simply that pro Wike or pro Fubara. It's not primarily now is APC or PDP. It's about
pro or pro.
Oh yes, pro.
Either tribal.
Yeah,
you individual.
Yes, you are either pro Riverine or pro Upland, as we like to call it. Upland, you're either pro Riverine or pro Upland, or you're pro Fubara or pro Wike. it's all just the politics of it. Yes.
Yeah, but that's because you have very weak institutions and powerful individuals. And Wike is trying to make the point that if he does not fight this time and regain control, he will lose relevance in the politics of Rivers State. So he's talking about his relevance. That's what is important to him. And Fubara also has been elected by the people. Fubara has the moral authority to be there. The people elected him, and he should be allowed to do his job. Yes,
elected by the people. We can interrogate that, but because if we insist here that everybody that is anybody in the River State owes his being to Wike. Wike is the gadfly. He's the big man here.
We're talking about people's will, not a big man and a gadfly.
Was it the people that put Fubara there, or was it Wike? You remember? Cyril is here. Hold on. Wike said all about 10, 12 members of the Federal House were sponsored by him.
Sponsored, but not elected by him. They're two separate issues.
Okay.
Yes.
You don't want us to tear the bag. So go on.
Yeah, so Fubara was elected by the people. He has the mandate of the people. So no one has the authority actually to repudiate that reality. Your command of the party machinery or your desire not to lose interest in the state does not empower you morally to repudiate that reality. So Fubara should fight. It's nothing new. Proteges fighting their political godfathers. We've seen that in Enugu State. We've seen that, I think, in Anambra. We've seen that across Nigeria.
Edo is another
Edo is another one. So, and as I've said time and time again, unless a governor is not savvy, unless he's dim-witted, it's hard to dislodge a sitting governor. He has the resources, he has the power, he has the control of the state. So you just can't toy with him or shove him to the side at will. And technically, those that defected have lost their seats. So if they've lost their seats, there will be new elections to replace them.
And interestingly, Tochukwu, the 5 State House members, assembly members who passed the budget have declared the seats of the 26 vacant.
And their passing the budget was a legitimate act because they are the only legitimate members of the House of Assembly.
I do agree with you. So because at this point,
to the extent,
no, because up to that point, it was the House that passed the budget.
A quarter past.
Sure.
Now,
yes.
yeah.
Up to that point, what remained of the House was those 4 or 5 members. So it was full House that passed the budget, and that was why they sure, and that was why the governor moved in quickly to sign it into law. It's been passed. It's passed.
Yeah. Siri, we have disgraced ourselves so many times, and we have become immune to it.
It's
as a people, as a polity.
Sure, and
because again, there's no sense of shame anymore.
There's no standards,
and you can't make a law to say to. You can't make a law against shame. And I don't believe that where we are because of lack of laws. I'm tempted to say, shouldn't we have legislation that prevents one man from being the person who buys forms for all the candidates running on from his party in his state? But again, you see, the question is, where then do we leave good sense? Where then do we leave room for basic right and wrong? Somebody comes and says, I'm the one that bought form for the governor, senators, reps, members, House of Assembly, everybody. For goodness sake, where did he get the money from?
When I challenge Tochukwu, at that point, is it right to say the people elected Fubara?
Debatable. Highly debatable, because at the time Fubara was coming in, the argument was he is Wike's third term. he's Wike's brother. This is Wike's spirit. You know, that sort of thing. They call him all sorts of names. And don't forget, the Labour Party, the obedient movement was a whirlwind, and people had thought that for the first time the people was going to lose, but you saw that the APC, that even if the APC even won the presidential election against the run of play. I don't want to go into details here.
Okay.
That the PDP even won the election was a miracle. It was against the run of play. But, you know, in the way social character moves or changes or evolves, what happened was that with the scenario playing out, people have come to find a messiah in Fubara. If only he symbolize, if only that he has come to symbolize the fight or the struggle to, as in quote, set River State free from the clutches of Mr. Wike. Okay, so that is what there was also a time when Wike was this popular at the beginning of his government in 2015 when he came to unseat when Mr. Amechi, because people in university thought that Amechi was to Rivers at the time what the likes of Fidel Castro, Alexander Bustamante, and so on, you know, to Jamaica and Cuba. But his sin was that he joined the APC. That was Amechi's sin.
Yeah. That
wrote his name in infamy forever.
Okay.
So now Wike came. They said, okay, you know, as at that time we had a Peter Delay, Upland, Celestine Omeya, Upland, Ruth Mamechi, also Upland. Having another Upland governor.
Wike
no. Yes, so Wike was now to become governor. People said governorship should go to the riverine. But you see, because they wanted Amechi out, they thought this Wike is the only person that could. And so yes. So regardless of who he is, let anything but Amechi or anything but APC.
Otherwise, the enemy of my enemy is a friend.
Is a friend. So that was how, you know, Amechi became Wike became governor. 2 terms after, we are back in that same place. We are a non-career politician, somebody who I mean, I don't mean to be demeaning, but I mean, looking at the man's pictures on the internet, he doesn't look like the boisterous sort of charismatic, hard-hitting fellow. He's just some cool guy chap in the play. So now, but somehow he has had to become the face of the change that people are yearning for.
All right, Sir, quickly, do you see this scenario in River State getting to the apex court?
Well, of course, it's already there. You mean APC, PDP?
What is play? Do you see anybody going to the?
Well, what I do know is
the apex court for redress?
What I do know is that there's a long road ahead of us. There's a very, very long road ahead of us.
Otherwise, as Tochukwu's America would say, you ain't seen nothing yet.
You ain't seen nothing. This is just the beginning of the beginning itself. In fact, where we are is pre-beginning. Except, I think the former governor of Rivers State, Rufus Sada George, third Republic governor, said that as leaders of thought, as elders, that they are reaching out to the governor and Mr. Wike, or if only to see how they can sheath their swords. But you know, the average Nigerian politician, if you're not somebody of value that is consequential, I mean, elder, just talk. Let's hear what you have to say.
But they started the reconciliation earlier, and people thought it was beginning to yield results. Then the coup came, the change, the decamping of 27 members came, and then the resignation of Wike loyalists in the Fubara's government. I think it will be a tough fight, a hard fight, but finally somebody is going to win or somebody is going to lose. The governor is better positioned in the fight to win.
Tochukwu, let me excite you a little. Sometimes you wonder if God did not create the politician in his own image, on purpose and for a purpose.
Okay.
More so the Nigerian politician. Am I?
God created. No, we are all in the image of God.
Okay, and his likeness.
Even the devil was created by God in his image.
And his likeness.
Yes, yeah, likeness.
So the politician, God is also a politician.
No, he is not. I think what usually happens that, you know,
the thing is that there's good and bad in man, and who gave us the good and the bad is God. So we have the choice to make. We can choose to
and we are created in his image and likeness.
I don't know where this thing is going with this, but what I do know is that
we are created in his image and his likeness. And if you go to the Old Testament of the Bible, you see the wonderful, good, kind, loving image of God at work. You also see the vindictive, unforgiving, sometimes vicious aspect of God at work. Is that not where we are?
Because if you no.
It's a simple fact in the Old Testament. The Old Testament dramatized it.
Hold on, this digression will help us.
Yeah.
You remember in the story of Job, the children of Job went for a party, perhaps in your house, and we are not told that the fire of Satan, the fire of God, struck the house.
God had instructed Satan and given him limits to operate. And interestingly, Satan kept to the limits set by God. Do all you want, but don't touch his life. And Satan did not touch his life. So God is, we are in the image of God.
Okay. And his likeness.
Yes.
So
yes, but
the Nigerian politician,
the Nigerian is an abuse of the power God gave man to dominate his environment. You can dominate land, you can dominate sea, you can dominate air, you can control the environment. I mean, you can control the forests,
but not the mind.
But you cannot dominate a fellow human being. That's witchcraft.
No, you dominate human beings.
So
Kings David dominated human beings and killed people at will because they offended him, or he thought they offended God.
Who?
The Israelites were sent to kill all the Amorites because they worshipped the wrong God. Kill all the goat, kill all the cows, kill the king, kill the masses. And supposedly God told them to do that. So there's good and bad in God. There's good and bad in man.
I'm saying that man was not made ordinarily to dominate a fellow man. He was made to dominate his environment, dominate things around him. How
can a king function if he doesn't dominate others?
The word is not domination. Now this is where I'm going this season. It's like River State. There is now a strong move to resist an attempt by one man to dominate everybody.
Okay.
You cannot dominate people.
He will surely fail trying to dominate.
He will fail. It doesn't work. They say you are playing God. You are not God.
Yes, Cyril. But the problem in Nigeria seems to be a lack of consensus.
No, and we don't even need consensus. What we need are basic moral principles or basic values that we all subscribe to. However you domesticate it in your own environment is up to you. Can we ever in our right minds agree that there should even be political godfathers who control, dominate, domineer? Come on.
You can't escape God.
The question is how?
You cannot escape political godfathers.
No.
We need elevated moral and ethical standards.
Yeah, but
so as these godfathers are operating, let them be guided by some moral.
So I like to even call them mentors, for example. Okay.
Yeah.
But not. Yeah. But the crassness of what we find playing out in universities, for example, is an aberration of what democracy should mean in any way. You know, a case in which when you're seeking office to deliver service to people, to set them free, as it were, the first thing you do is to mortgage your own freedom, mortgage your liberty.
Cyril, so when in River State the 4 assemblymen insist on impeaching Governor Fubara,
No.
27.
4 are with the governor.
5
are with the governor.
Sorry,
yeah, the rest are on their own.
And the 26.
Yeah,
26.
Yeah, 27.
I hear one of them has made a U-turn. But there's Tonye. Am I right now? There's an assemblyman, Tonye whoever, representing the Andoni constituency. He says he never returned to the PDP. Otherwise, the man is APC. So godfatherism is playing out here. And does this not remind you of the early years of Obasanjo, where, if you remember, state assemblymen, very few would impeach a governor and so on?
Yes, even up till the mathematical abacadabra. Was it in Rivers State where I'm trying to recall something. I think it was in Rivers State. Or I don't really remember. Yeah, the days of Obasanjo, we could have tolerated that because we are just coming out of military rule. So the power being centralized in one man, and one man being considered the father of all. But I think we've gone past that. We've gone past that. So it's regrettable that we're regressing in that regard.
The fear here is that what's playing out in River State is a metaphor for what's happening in the whole country.
Over dramatized. Kind of push.
So the histrionics of politicians are not giving us any
Wike
quarter.
is not the only person who bought forms for all the candidates of his party. This is happening everywhere in Nigeria. Just that he chose to say it the way he said it. Go and check.
Why are they buying forms?
Go and check.
The impecunious, the politicians are impecunious. They can't buy forms for themselves.
You go and check. It's not about that.
Why do they do
Whether
that?
you can buy or not is a material. That is how you should. That's how the Godfather obtains his loyalty from you.
Yeah.
There's nothing you can do about it. And when the Godfather has bought, see, sometimes the Godfather will even buy forms for 3 candidates, for 3 aspirants. Say, go and collect those forms. How dare you buy form when the father has not bought it for you? It means you're not a loyal party man. So that's the way it is.
So loyalty to the party approximates.
It's not loyalty.
Loyalty to the party approximates to loyalty to one man.
Yes, but of course it has to be. Now we are even the ones constantly calling it loyalty. That is not loyalty. It's beyond loyalty. Maybe you can call it allegiance. Maybe you can call it subservience. Maybe servitude. And these are enlightened men. Lawyers, doctors, people, accomplished
Why do
professionals.
they fall so low if they are not desperately poor? I can understand a poor man being a servant. You call it allegiance, servitude.
Let me attempt to answer that.
Sorry, just a minute. I side with you. Poverty here is not poverty of the pocket, but that of the intellect.
Multi-dimensional.
It is the worst form of poverty. Yeah, but again, maybe it's a little beyond that. So let me just put it in context. There was a picture of civil rights leaders back in the day marching to meet some policemen or so. All of them are dressed in ties and jackets and dressed very properly. Back then, people who sagged their pants, their trousers, were seen as the scum of society, riffraffs and so on. Over the years, sagging of pants, trousers, and maybe wear singlet, baggy shorts, you sag them with is it Timberland shoes, those big shoes, has come to be a symbol of
resistance.
No, mainstream fashion, as it were, has come to be what big boys wear. You know what I mean? The question: what happened over the years that what looked like the dressing of the scum of the riffraffs has now become the standard for people who are so-called who are performers and musicians and so on. So the thing happened. Before now you will say, I will never succumb to such a thing because I want to be a governor or a house of representatives. I should come and do what? There was a council chairman that they said his godfather bought the clothes he was wearing. So Citizen Jones.
Why? Because he was poor, or because he was
you are still asking me this question
to dramatize his
they said that one should not come back to be council chairman here. Even the cloth he was wearing, he and his governor, they should not come back here. Or to the shirt he will wear. To the shirt, this man was a mathematician. The man we're talking about was a well-known mathematician. At least in that area where he was known, where he was a mathematician.
So something is wrong.
Meanwhile, the so-called godfather, I'm not sure he was even lettered. So that's the problem. This is the problem. You know, what we just hope that we come back to the point or to the place where men are known more for the product of their minds, or where our politics is guided by sound thinking, values. I mean, I'm a stickler for values. All of this is happening because people we've shared values, we've shared common sense, we've shared good reason.
It's all about money and power, and sometimes just brute power. You know.
Tochukwu, what bothers me here is you get the picture that a politician who wants to leave the shadows of the Godfather and be his own man is running out of fashion. So there's somebody somewhere pulling the strings. You must behave as he thinks, and so on.
If I just may come in here, I used to have a friend. I mean, separated now by distance and years. Yeah, but it was clear he wanted to be a politician. He always said it, politics, and the sort of things he always said he had seen, he had heard, he wanted to do. There are things I knew. These people, I just knew I could never. So, for example, then in the local government, somebody was appointed a member of the caretaker committee. You know what he said? He said somebody was loyal to that guy, went to him and knelt down 17 times.
This friend you are talking about?
No. He was preparing to enter politics, so he was telling me the things that
people do, the nonsense involved.
He said, do you know so person, when they appointed him to the, I know he to go congratulate his own father, political godfather, who had appointed him to the caretaker committee of local government council, that the person went and greeted that member of the CTC and knelt down about 17 times or 12 times.
Kneel down, get up, kneel down.
Yeah, Gabi bowed to him and bowed to him and say, kneel down, woke up, kneel down, rose up, kneel down 17 times. And that politics, yeah. But
it just shows how warped the system is. What does a man benefit from somebody kneeling down so many times for you? It makes you feel you're God.
I just knew that there was a governor. There was a governor who was made governor by his political godfather. So when he goes to see
not
the man,
in your state.
No, never. When he go see.
Which one be
when
never?
He goes
River
to
State,
see the man.
Now I'm coming. River State is a state of very proud people, though. Believe me. This is why, no matter how, I mean, maybe somebody stoops to conquer, but this is why they always fall out with their godfathers. You can't push it too far. If you study the sociology of our people, the one word with which you can qualify a reverse man is pride.
Okay.
Now, let's come to the man I was talking about that was made governor by his godfather. Whenever he's traveling to see the man, he drops all the paraphernalia of office and goes, and then when the man sit down, he said no, he will sit on the ground in the sitting room.
After he has been elected a governor.
Oh no,
in the build-up.
In the build-up, okay.
As His Excellency Governor of the state, whenever I went to see the man in his country home, his godfather in his country home, he will elect to sit on the floor.
Okay.
The man will say sit in the chair. Say no, you are my.
To demonstrate to dramatize his loyalty and his servitude too, because that goes beyond loyalty.
So sometimes, it is not always they fell out. It is not always a case of the godfather demanding that service from the person. I mean, how else do you feel? You sit in your house, they tell you that we want to make you governor of the state. We've looked at you and we feel that you have the requisite skills. We've watched over the years. You're calm-headed, you're level-headed, you're a good communicator, you have good personal interaction with people. Your personal relations are good, and we think that you can take this to the next level. You say, you maybe didn't even see it coming. Okay, so you say, okay, that'd be great. They are looking at what you've done maybe in the private sector as a banker or as whatever it is, and they bring you in. So once your name, that's what they're looking for. They are the governors of the state, but once your name is a name that people can easily resonate with, that can resonate with people, they put it and say, okay, go. Form you're not buying. when you hear what some people are going to be to become councillors and chairmen, and you hear that you're going to become governor on a platter, political structure you won't have to build. It takes billions. There's no need to pretend about it. It takes billions
to run for the office of governor. Yes.
You're looking at between 7 and 10 billion naira.
And somebody pays all that.
And you just sit down in a hotel, sipping tea and having to, and they just all you need to do is to smile for the cameras, and there is already a team of economists, sociologists, psychologists, speech writers, PRO experts who are telling you what to say at every time. Smile here, say this here, don't say anything. You know that kind of thing. And then you have up to 2 or 3 journalists who are following you and just writing. If you brush your teeth, they write about it. Anything you suddenly wake up, your name is on the front line. Is on the front pages. 3 months to election day, you have become more popular than all your lineage, and you're wondering, So
where did all of this?
And the godfather seems very undemanding. He's not asking anything from you. He just wants you to do.
It's like it comes miraculous.
You now become governor.
Okay. So because it came miraculous, the person who made it possible becomes your God.
You see, but from that point on, that godfathers, if mother and father, if they're still alive, wife, children, grandchildren, cousins, nieces, nephews, in-laws, everybody, whenever it comes to government favors and government whatever it is, it's a waiver. It's a straight waiver.
Yeah.
You cannot go against the man. It is difficult. You cannot go against the man. So when the man says, well, and you see, Citizen Joe, sometimes they are not as somehow. So I think Wike's own brand of the thing is sort of doesn't show enlightenment.
Combative too.
He's extremely combative. He's crude. He's uncouth. Otherwise, they don't even press. You may just hear, but then again, while he's doing that for you, he's also doing that with the lawmakers in his state House of Assembly. He makes sure that only those who will be as subservient is even an understatement. When you say bootlickers, bootlickers, no, let's not use a word that's not good for radio.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Proper. he then packs proper bootlickers. Yes. He will buy forms for them. Yeah. The more, maybe if you don't have, what do you have? You don't have a BSc. It's okay.
Be handled.
You are even the one that you're the kind that we're even looking for. Just come, come as you are. Come the way. So then at the end of the day, sometimes they even come through proxies.
Yeah.
Would you like to? Somebody said on Twitter, they said whenever commissioners do something to Fubara, whenever the governor wanted the commissioners to do something, they will ask him, is Ogawe? What
that
could be
must feel bad.
Well, let's even say assume. Let me even assume that it was true. How does the governor feel?
All right, Tochukwu and Cyril, how do we? Let's think aloud. Now that about 6 commissioners have resigned from Fubara's government, what next?
No. So before I answer this question, I'd like to, what is wrong is wrong. I always say this.
And what's right is right.
I like politics, if only from the observer point of view. And but I know that I have very strong moral value. So there's a lot that I can't.
You like politics to the extent that you can't bear thinking what a jobless politician could do.
Yeah. But then what must happen? The governor should summon his cabinet and say, what I want is opposition, not cowardice. Anybody here?
Or subservience.
Yes.
That's the solution to the problem.
I'm coming. Beginning. Yes. The governor should summon his cabinet today and say, gentlemen and women, I don't want cowardice. What I want is opposition. If you know here and now that you can no longer be of service to me as a commissioner, tender your resignation with immediate effect. Let me know who is left with me. Because they hear say 7 of them resigned. Some could be there and told, don't leave that place. Go and pledge allegiance to him.
So, but address.
I'm coming. So
address the issue.
And I'm coming. The governor should begin with the things he can control first. So clean up the cabinet. and then you have 4 members of the House of Assembly. They can ratify your new nominees today. Of course. They can have an emergency sitting. Get new commissioners. Let them all be ratified with immediate effect. You're governor. You can do that.
Yes.
Do that immediately. Then, having sorted out your own arm of government, those 4 lawmakers that are loyal to you is still the state house of, because they have the mace. And by a court ruling, they are the ones who are recognized as the.
Yeah.
Then
Cyril, but democracy is. It talks about the rule of the majority. Four cannot be.
No.
Hold on.
No.
4 cannot be bigger than 32.
Nobody to remove. They are the ones who defend by law.
They are not.
Democracy thrives on law, and by law. INEC ought to organize fresh elections, because as I speak to you, there is no division in PDP to have warranted their defection.
So the court will decide ultimately.
Runs counter to what you said when I mentioned the Obasanjo years, when about 4, 5, 6, 7 legislators would impeach the governor.
What used to happen back then was that a faction of the House would say that they've impeached the speaker. All right, so the House divided is a different thing.
Yeah, they'll still remain. Not after they have defected to another party.
They are all still in a party, but there's a division in the House. So, but then having self-sorted the executive arm of government, there's a legitimate House of Assembly made up of 5 men, as far as I see it. Then get INEC to declare that they're going to organize fresh elections for the.
You might not be able to.
Let me land now. Let me land.
Yeah, except that you are still being evasive.
No.
After 6, 7 commissioners had left Fubara's government, what next?
I said, fill those vacancies.
Okay.
You fill them, then
with your people.
Come on.
All right. So Fubara is a godfather in the making.
I said it at the beginning. I said that if care is not taken, it was the same whirlwind that pushed power into Amechi's hand, pushed it into Wike's hand, and now it's pushing it into Fubara's hand. But that discussion is waiting for 8 years, maybe after 4 or 8 years. But the point again is this, because of course you have to you used to give a proverb in Igbo language that when you go to a place, you think of the land before you can think of math.
You secure the land
first,
ground.
So
about a mat to put on it.
What will come later. But for now, secure the executive of government. There are, if you can get INEC to, what's it called? I believe you can push for it.
The court would finally decide that.
No. What you do then is, there's already a, what's it called? There's a seismic shift in River State right now. Things are not where they used to be. The waves are swinging. The question is, where will they land?
All right.
So you go and fight and seek for stake.
Very close on 8:45. Time to swing the microphone over to the listener. But please, gentlemen, there are 2 circumstances that will lead to arrogance in the politician. When you are wrong, you can't face it. When you are right, nobody can prove it. So, a godfather is trying to sow a seed, a dangerous seed, in River State. Not at this time. Not at this time.
It shouldn't be at this time, but unfortunately.
Or at any other time.
Unfortunately, it is at this time. But what the people of River State should do is to collectively uproot this seed that is beginning to germinate, it's beginning to sprout, extirpate it, pull it out. What Fubara should do is that the men with him are the legitimate legislators, the 5 remaining legislators. The other ones technically have lost their seats until the court says otherwise. And so what he will do is to, like he says, secure your executive arm and work with the few. There are few, but they are the only legitimate legislators you have. And take it from there. It will be a long haul. The court will finally decide. But on the short run, take charge with what you have. All
right. You, the listener, must take charge of what we say now. Your reaction to the unfolding scenario in River State. 0700 903 903 903. How do you react to Rivers' befalling politics? State Assembly complex demolished, about 6, 7 commissioners resigning. How do you react to these issues?
But
I have a first caller here. Hello, good morning to you.
Hi, Citizen Joe. Good morning, sir. How are you? I greet your guest.
Yeah, we
You have
greet
to
you.
the phone.
Yeah.
Thank you. Citizen Joe, sir. You see, as far as I am concerned, both of them are not different. That is wicked.
Both of them are not
That is
what?
bad. None of them is different from the other. Yes. The reason is clear. You know, when you go to the local tree to beg for a child, and the local tells you this is what I will get after so and so period, and you now got that child from the local tree, later I just want to scam the local tree. It's not possible. When Fubara was going to this wiki, there were much more people who were inside. But because Wiki had that power of incumbency, the work and whatever, he used this to support that candidate who at that point in time, under a normal circumstance, might not even be the best candidate for the job. Meaning that you have shortchanged the state. But
Okay.
now that Satan has come, you get my point now. Meaning that they have both shortchanged the state.
60 seconds are 60 seconds are up.
So
you know.
finally,
60
Yeah.
seconds are up.
so right now-
Please give some others a chance. Feel free to drop your argument or your points here. 0700 903 903 903. Hello, good morning to you.
Morning, sir. Adolphus again.
All right then.
The discussants, the commentators there are not politicians. They don't know the game. Tinubu, who is the president today, is still controlling Lagos, whether you like it or not. If anything happens, he will come down here and settle it. That's godfatherism. It's still happening. Look, Fubara is for a minority. And if we can decide to field a candidate from the majority upland, he's gone. So look at all these things. You have to find out that Wike is playing his rightful game of controlling that state. He's from a majority, and he went for the first time from the minority and brought somebody. And now he's kicking. He didn't have the votes. Conduct the election tomorrow. The upland will take it. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. 0700 903 903 903. We're looking at the befuddling politics unfolding before our eyes in River State.
one of the callers said that.
Sorry, let me take another caller. Good morning to you.
hello, I don't know what happened with my call the other time. I don't know.
I said you exhausted your 60 seconds, but you are here again. Go on.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I didn't hear that. Thank you, sir. Okay, just 10 seconds now. The truth is that the team might go either way. At the end of the day, Wike might lose or the governor will win. That will be true for everybody. But as far as I'm concerned, I think Wike might not win because it will be difficult for him with the backing of the president and the way economy is going right now. At the end of the day, the PDP might gain, although nobody knows where it's actually going to end. It does remind you, but I think if the governor continues as the underdog here, it might get the sympathy at the end of the day. Thank you.
Many thanks. 0700 903 903 903. Hello, good morning to you. Are you happy with this noise we're getting? Are you happy about this noise I'm sorry, I can't take you. When you get through, keep your radio out of it so we have a smooth conversation. It's possible to do that. That one no need make we go court at all. Hello, good morning to you. Hello.
Good morning, citizen.
Keep your radio out of it so I take you.
Okay. He's out.
All right.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hello?
Keep it that way. Let's go.
The man who has spoken about godfatherism must continue. He's not affecting the Nigerian politics. What is happening in Lagos he referred to supposed not to be. If fatherism continues, that means there will be no way the governor can work.
and they are below progress. So the right thing to do is not fatherism. After military set up, who fathered the government of 1999, we should be able to say things that are good and do things that are good. Thank you.
Many thanks. Many thanks. Straight to the point. Hello, good morning. Okay. 0700 903 903 903. Gentlemen, godfatherism in politics is a universal phenomenon.
Oh, naturally.
But the godfather should not be a substitute for democracy. Hello, good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning.
Yes, sir. Your name, where are you calling from?
Yeah, my name is George Emenike. I'm calling
George.
from Agbo. Yes. I think this godfatherism issue, I could be positive in a way. When somebody has worked for a long time and he wants to maintain his legacy, he wants to install somebody who will, carry on with the good work he did. But in our own time, it's a case of people who have worked, embezzled money, did all sorts of nonsense, trampled on people's rights and all that. And they want to install somebody who will cover their tracks. That's not fine. For example, there was a one-time governor of Anambra State, precisely Peter Obi. He didn't install himself as the godfather, but he's still popular today. Liked everywhere he goes. But so becoming a godfather does not really, increase your popularity or your liking by people.
Yeah.
So godfatherism should be thrown to the trash. It's absolute nonsense, and it doesn't work in a situation where you have done evil against the people. Thank you so much.
Many thanks. Gentlemen, let's take this home.
Yeah, a caller earlier said that since the agreement was reached between the two men, Wike and Fubra, that Fubra should uphold all the stipulations of the agreement. Well, some agreements are so skewed against the weaker individual. Some agreements are unconscionable. And even some courts strike off agreements. Although it's an agreement, the court will strike it off on grounds of unconscionability. So this is an unconscionable agreement that should not be accepted under any circumstance.
Okay. Cyril, how do you bury it?
What has to happen is that Governor Fubara has to own up to it. He is the governor at the moment. He cannot take his hands off the plow. He has to do what he needs to do to stabilize things in Rivers State and provide governance. That's what people need right now.
Okay. Well, the debate might continue in your small